Thanks for joining me today. My name's AJ Panaccione with Allura Bath Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to adjust a door and remove a door on the 21st Century cabinet line. So the first thing I'm going to show you how to do is to remove the door. So you're going to locate the door you want to remove. I'm going to remove this one here. You're going to open the door and you're going to locate the hinges. You're either going to have 3 hinges or 2 hinges. You shouldn't have 1 hinge because then it wouldn't stay on the door, on the cabinet. So when you look at the hinge, you're going to locate the hinge or the screw on the hinge that is attaching it to the face frame. This is the face frame of the cabinet here. This is the hinge. And this screw here goes into that face frame. And you're going to counterclockwise unscrew that screw from the face frame. You're going to remove it. I like to put it right here so you don't lose it. Now, I would recommend doing the bottom, the top, then the middle so that you're not having to hold it as much. Another trick, I also recommend not using a power drill unless you're extremely familiar with them. You can strip it, you can damage the hardware or the face frame. If you're not very versed with a power screw gun, you should use a hand screwdriver like this, and it's just a Phillips head number 2 that we're using for almost all your cabinet needs there. Now the middle one, when I remove this one, it's going to come off of the face frame. So you're going to want to put your hand on the bottom. If you're not comfortable with that, you're going to want a second person to hold the door while you take the screw out. So I'm going to hold it on the bottom and I'm going to unscrew, and we have taken the door off. Yay, we did it. All right, now I'm going to show you on here, if you had to replace this hinge, it's very easy. You just take these 2 screws out, again, using your screwdriver. You would take these 2 out, and then you'd pull directly up, right? So that's how the hinge is actually attached to the door. So if your hinge breaks, you need to locate a similar hinge, and then you can take the new hinge and place it right back in using the same screws. Do not over tighten them and do not leave them too loose. You want them to be snug so that they hold, but not so tight that you strip out the screws. While I have you this close, I'm going to show you the other 2 screws. So this screw here shifts it with the direction of the arrows, and this screw here adjusts the door on the face frame. So we're going to use those when we adjust the door on the actual face frame of the cabinet. So now let's put this cabinet door back up. Same thing. This is a pretty big door. I'd probably recommend 2 people. You're going to find the holes where they originally were. You're going to line them up. Make sure they're fully on there. All right, so I've got them lined up. I'm going to take my screw, put it on my screwdriver carefully. Oh, it's not magnetic. I'll put it on there with that. There we go. A little bit of a balancing act by yourself. So the first one, when you put it in, I recommend just kind of getting it snug. You don't have to tighten it up all the way, just enough to get it in there. So let's see, put our next one on. And you really want to make sure you're using the same hole and you're not over tightening it so that you don't have an issue in the future with the screw holding. If you do have an issue, I recommend just getting like a 1/4 inch longer screw. Just don't get anything longer than 1 1/4 because your face frames are only 1.5 inches wide. So if you get it longer than that, you can go all the way through the other side. Now we can talk about a little more of the construction of that in the future, but you really don't want to bust out your face frames on your cabinets. So now that I've got them all in, I just snug each one up, a little bit of force, and the door's back on. Test it, make sure it works. If you're happy with it, great. If you want to do some adjustments to go up or down, right? So if you wanted this line or this line, you want the whole door to go up or down, you're gonna loosen the one we were just using, pick the door up, and then tighten it back down. If we want the door to go left or right, or maybe it's too much like this, and we wanna straighten it back out, that's really easy. All we're gonna do is use this screw here. So when I turn this one direction to the left, it's gonna move the whole door on this side to the left. So if I wanted it to shift like that, I'm gonna move the bottom left and the top right. And then the middle kind of in between that, right? So you can see I can make a small gap here and a big gap here. If I wanna make it the same, I can pull it to the left, pull it to the left, and leave the first one where it was, right? So now I can get the same gap. Some people like a big gap here, some people like a small gap here. You can do the same thing. You can move both doors to the opposite direction, or you can move both doors together. The last one is the hinge forward to back. So if your door is not hitting at the top or not hitting at the bottom, you have to take the opposite side and pull it out, right? So if this one is hitting and this one is not hitting, what I want to do is I want to pull this part out so that these hit at the same time on the face frame. And what I mean by that is these little bumpers are hitting the face frame. That's what they're resting on. So I would take this screw here and I would turn it, and you can see now there's a gap right here, right? So that's going to pull that one up away. So there's 6-way adjustable hinges, and that's for tolerances, right? So you can adjust these 6 different directions within a good margin of error there so that you can get the doors exactly the way you want. And that is how you remove a door and how you adjust a door. Thank you for watching.